Welcome everyone from RISE, an edutech platform for JEE and NEET. Myself Santoshi Krishna, Senior Chemistry faculty here. In this session, we will be solving mathematics question of All India Light mock test that was held on 14th Feb. So, moving on to our first question. You can see here, he has given one reactant and asking what is the product. So, in presence of H2SO. So, here he have given diols. This is nothing but the two OH groups are there. So, in the presence of H2SO4, what will be the product? So, generally diols in the presence of H2SO4, the reaction is known as phenol-phenolone rearrangement. This is known as phenol-phenolone rearrangement. So, what happens of this reactant in the presence of H2SO4? So, let us see the mechanism of this reaction. So, if we write the mechanism, CH3, CH, and here OH. Okay. So, in the presence of acid, means we are reacting with H2SO4, we will give H plus ion. So, in the presence of H plus, what happens? This OH minus ion will attack on the H plus ion, leaving the water molecule, means we will get a water molecules at minus H2O. So, we will write PH, C, CH. Since OH minus ion is leave this carbon, this carbon will attain a positive charge, C, CH3, the OH and CH. Now, what happens? Rearrangement will take place. Now, this methyl will shift to this carbon. So, we will get PH, nothing but phenyl group. Here, the CH3 is coming to this carbon. Rearrangement is taking place. So, we will get here CH3. Here C. Again, this carbon will attain the positive carbocation is formed CH3 in the presence of OH. Now, what happens? This hydrogen will leave the carbon, will leave the oxygen, and here oxygen will attain the negative charge. So, the positive and negative can form a double bond. So, here bond formation will be there, CH, CH3, C, double bond O, H. So, this is our product now. So, let us see the options. Which one will be our product? So, you can see this is the option. So, this is our product. Okay. So, moving on to the next question. So, what are we saying here? A gaseous carbon compound. Remember that gaseous carbon compound is soluble in dilute HCl. Okay. Next, the solution on treating with NaNO2 gives off nitrogen, leaving behind a solution which smells of wood spirit, the carbon compound. So, we will go from the back onwards. Wood spirit. So, what is the wood spirit? Nothing but wood spirit is known as methanol. So, the last product is methanol. So, how can we obtain methanol? So, what is saying? We should have nitrogen as well as methanol. Methanol will be the product. So, suppose I am the reaction. So, here the product is CH3 OH plus N. So, seeing the options, we are having formaldehyde, carbon monoxide, ethylamine and methylamine. So, here ethylamine will not give, because two carbons are there, will not give our methyl alcohol. This carbon monoxide will not react with NaNO2 in presence of HCl, and this formaldehyde also will not react with NaNO2 in presence of HCl. So, our answer should be methylamine. Let us see how the reaction will take place. So, CH3NH2 methylamine on reaction with NaNO2 in presence of HCl. So, what happens? Diazotization reaction is taking place. So, we will get CH3N2 plus Cl minus. This is our diazotized product, and this one will undergo hydrolysis. Undergoes hydrolysis to form our methyl alcohol plus nitrogen gas, and also chlorine gas will be evolved. So, in our question, what he has given that is saying that it gives off nitrogen, leaving behind a solution which smells of wood spirit. So, this is our wood spirit, and this is nitrogen gas is evolved. So, our answer is nothing but a methylamine. Okay. So, then next, moving on to the next question. What he is asking, number of number of orbits and orbitals having electrons in silicon are respectively. So silicon, let us write the electronic configuration of silicon. What is that? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p2. So this is the electronic configuration of silicon. Now number of orbits. So how many orbits are there? First orbit, second orbit, and third orbit. The total number of orbits are 3, and is asking how many number of orbitals are there. So let's see how many number of orbitals. This is 1 orbital, this is 2, this is 3, 4, 5. So total number of orbitals we can say is equals to 5. So 3 number of orbits and 5 number of orbitals. So our answer is the fourth option, you can see. Okay, then moving on to the next question. Which of the following species has 4 lone pairs of electrons in its outermost shell? So it's asking in this following species which is having 4 lone pairs of electrons. So let's see the outermost configuration of iodine. So outermost configuration of iodine is 5s2, 5p5. Next, the outermost configuration of oxide ion will be, what is that? 2s2, 2p5. Next, the outermost configuration of chloride ion will be 3s2, 3p6, and the outermost configuration of helium. So helium will be nothing but outermost configuration is 1s. So let's see the orbital diagram here. So 5s2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5s2, 5p5. And for oxygen, let's see the orbital diagram. 2s2, 2p5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next, for the chloride ion, we can see this is the 3s2 orbital, and total 6 electrons are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the 3s2, 3p6 configuration of chloride ion, and for helium it is 1s2. So here you can see the iodine is having 3 lone pairs of electron. The oxide ion is having 3 lone pairs of electron. The chloride ion is having 4 lone pairs of electron, and the helium is having 1 lone pair of electron. So what it is asking in the question is, which of the following species has 4 lone pairs of electrons? It is nothing but our chloride ion. So our answer is Cl-, third option, nothing but. Next, moving on to the next question. So for the reaction 2NO2 gives rise to 2NO plus O2 at 11 Kelvin, the relation between Kp and Kc is asked. So let us write the reaction what he has given. 2NO2 gives rise to 2NO plus O2. So for this, what is the relation between Kp and Kc is asked. So we know that Kp is equals to Kc into RT to the power of delta N, where delta N is nothing but the, what is that? The stoichiometric coefficient of the, nothing but products minus the difference between the stoichiometric coefficient of products minus reactants. So what is the delta N value for this reaction will be nothing but 3 minus 2, that is will be equals to 1. So we can write for this reaction Kp is equals to Kc into RT to the power of 1. So that we can write here that Kp is greater than Kc. So in our option where it is Kp is greater than Kc means the first option is right. Okay. So moving on to the next question. What is that is asking? An ester used as medicine. So what is that ester which is used as medicine? Commonly we are calling it as methyl salicylate is the ester which can be used as medicine. So it is a concept wise question. We have to remember that. So nothing, no formulas or we can apply here there. So the just we have to remember. So this is our methyl salicylate. So this is used as a medicine in the pharmaceutical industries. Okay. Next. Moving on, next question. Which one of the following forms a complex of coordination number 2 with excess of Cn minus ion? Next, now we can see the copper can form coordination number of 6, nickel can form coordination number of 5, iron can form coordination number of 4 as well as 6. So only the thing remaining is nothing but silver. Because of the only +1 oxidation state, silver can form the coordination number of two complex. So this is the complex which silver can form with the cyanide ion with coordination number 2. Okay. So next, moving on to the next question. The cell reaction for the given cell, he has given a cell reaction. The pressure 1 is at 1 atmosphere and P2 he has given as 1 atmosphere. So in the first of all, pH is equals to 2 is saying, whereas in the reduction is given pH is equals to 3 is given. So he is asking that cell reaction is spontaneous, non-spontaneous or in equilibrium. So first of all, we have to know for a spontaneous reaction, the electrode potential should be greater than 0. For a non-spontaneous reaction, the electrode potential should be less than 0. At equilibrium, it will be equals to 0. So let us see the electrode potential for this reaction. What happens? What is the value of the electrode potential? So we know that E cell is given as E naught of oxidation potential plus E naught of reduction potential plus 0.059 by 2 into log of, so from this we can write H plus, from the reaction we can write H plus square, and this is also H plus square. This is at P2 atmosphere and this is at P1 atmosphere. So from this we can write E cell is equals to 0.059 by 2 into log of, what is the H plus at P2 value is given, pH is equals to 3. So H plus we can write 10 to the power of minus 3, that is also square, by at P1 he has given pH is equals to 2. So we can write H plus is equals to 10 to the power of minus 2 wholes. Now we can say, because what is that, E of oxidation potential is equals to minus of E of reduction potential. So that's why these two are cancelled out with each other. Next, that will be equal to 0.059 by 2 into this one we can write log 10 to the power of minus 2 after solving. So we will get value, E cell value as minus 0.059. So E cell value you are getting minus 0.059. So here you can see there is a negative value. So earlier I have told that for negative E less than 0, what is that? The reaction will be non-spontaneous. So our answer is non-spontaneous reaction. Okay, then moving on to our next question. So what is saying that which one of the following statement is not true, means we have to find which is the false statement. So here what is again, first one, the oxides of sulfur, nitrogen, carbon are the more widespread air pollutant. Yes, we know that because sulfur can form sulfuric acid, nitrogen can form nitric acid, whereas carbon can form carbon dioxide, or you can say carbonic acid. So these are the most widespread air pollutant. Yes, this is right. Next, pH of drinking water should be between 5.5 to 9.5. Yes, because the drinking water should not be acidic. So this is also right. Next, concentration of DO below 6 ppm. What is the meaning of DO? Means dissolved oxygen. So concentration of dissolved oxygen below 6 ppm is good for the growth of fish. No, because concentration of DO should not be less than 6 ppm for the growth of the fish. If it is less than 6 ppm, it will inhibit the growth of the fish. So that's why this is the wrong answer. Let's see the fourth option also. Clean water would have a BOD, biological oxygen demand value, of less than 5 ppm. Yes, the clean water should have the BOD value as less than 5 ppm. So this is also the correct answer. So what is that? He is asking the false statement. So the false statement is the third option. That's why C is, our answer is C. Next, moving on to the next question. Volatile metals, zinc, cadmium and mercury are purified by. So generally remember that always that volatile metals means nothing but which are having low boiling point. So low boiling point metals can always be purified by distillation method. So here our answer is nothing but the second option. So volatile metals can be purified by distillation method. Next, list the following alkoxide nucleophile in decreasing order of their SN2 reactivity. So here for SN2 reactivity, we have to remember that if crowding is more, or you can say steric hindrance is more, then reactivity decreases. So let's see one upon one. So first one, Me3CO minus is given. So we can write this one as CO minus one methyl group. This is the one methyl group, and this is also the other methyl. Okay, and what is the second one he has given? MEO minus. So MEO minus. So we can write as M methyl O minus. Next, the third one he has given as MECH2O minus. So MECH2O minus. So this one I can write methyl CH2O minus. Next, the fourth one he has given Me2CHO minus. Me2CHO minus. So this one I can write as methyl C. Here methyl group is there. CH, or you can write CHO minus. Okay. Next, the fifth one he has given as, okay, he has given cyclo group. So here I can write O minus, and here H is there. So this is our 5 molecules. So you can see that what I said earlier, that if crowding is more or steric hindrance is more, then reactivity decreases. So in all these 4 compounds, which one is having more crowding? That is having the more crowding. This is the least reactive. And which one is having the less crowding? Is nothing but our this one. This is having the less crowding, means this is the, what is that, more reactive. So we can write order as 2 greater than. Next, which one is having less crowding? This one. So 3 greater than. Now here you can see here one molecule is with 2 methyl groups are attached, and here one carbon is there, which is here 2 CH2 groups are attached. So between this 4 and 5th, which one will have greater reactivity? Means because this cyclopentane compound. So cyclopentane compounds are having more reactive. So we can write the 5th one. Next, it is obvious the 4th one, and the least reactive is the 1st one. So our order is 2, 3, 5, 4, 1. Let's see the option. What is that? So here in our first option is there. Okay. Next, ozonolysis of benzene gives. So what is the ozonolysis of benzene gives? So benzene, we can write the structure as, so this is benzene, ozonolysis means O3. Next, zinc in presence of water, 12th hydrolysis. So we know that double bonds in presence of ozone are broken, and here 3 moles of glyoxal formation will be. So this is the glyoxal, because all the carbon-carbon bonds are there and no extra groups are, that's why it will form 3 moles of glyoxal. So ozonolysis of benzene will give 3 molecules of glyoxal. Next question. Point out the incorrect statement he is asking. Incorrect statement again means it is a false statement. So what is the false statement here? Next. So see the options. Let us see the what is given as hardness of water depends upon its soap consuming power. Yes, because we can say that soft water means which give lather with the soap, whereas hard water which does not give lather with the soap. So this is the correct statement. Next, temporary hardness is due to the bicarbonates of calcium and magnesium. Yes, temporary hardness presence is because of the bicarbonates of calcium and magnesium. So these also are correct statement. Moving on to the third statement. What is that? Permanent hardness is due to soluble sulfates, chlorides and nitrates of calcium and magnesium. Yes, there that what is that? Permanent hardness is due to the sulfates, chlorides and nitrates of calcium and magnesium. This is also our correct statement. Next, the fourth statement is permanent hardness can be removed by boiling water. No, because permanent hardness of water, we are having different processes like alkane process, but by boiling water we can remove only temporary hardness of water but not permanent hardness of water. So our answer is nothing but D, which is a wrong statement. So he is asking about the incorrect statement. So D is our answer. Next, moving on to the next question. which of the following structures permits cis isomerism? Means he is asking what a geometrical isomerism, which one can proceed. So for the geometrical isomerism or the cis trans isomerism, so what we will say that in a double bonded carbon, in a double bonded carbon, the atoms or groups attached, or you can write the two atoms or groups attached to the carbon should not be same, or you can say here to a carbon should not be same. Whereas otherwise we can say that for a cis trans isomerism takes place, the groups or atoms, or the two groups or atoms attached to the two carbons, two different carbons means, can be same. So here you understand that. So now for cis trans isomerism, here in the options you can see, for this carbon these two groups are same, for this carbon these two groups are same, it will not show cis trans isomerism. Next, for this carbon these two are different, but for this carbon these two are same, so this will also not show cis trans isomerism. Next, third option, for this carbon these two groups are same, and for this carbon these two groups are different, but here since these two groups are same, it will also not show cis trans isomerism. And for the fourth one you can see, for the fourth one you can see, for this carbon these two groups are different, and for this carbon these two groups are different, so here it can see cis isomerism. Okay, so next, moving on to the next question. A decimolar solution of potassium ferrocyanide at 300 Kelvin is 50% dissociated, and he has given R value as 0.082 liter atmosphere mole inverse Kelvin inverse. He is asking the osmotic pressure of the solution in atmosphere. How much is the osmotic pressure? So first of all, what is the formula of potassium ferrocyanide? K4FeCN6. So this is the formula of potassium ferrocyanide. So if you will dissociate this, what happens? We will get 4K plus FeCN6 4 minus. This means here the number of ions are 4 plus 1, means we can write N value is equals to 5. So using the Van Tau's factor formula, we can write alpha is equals to I minus 1 by N minus 1. In the question he has given already that 50% dissociated, so means we can write alpha as 0.5. We don't know the value of I, so I minus 1, and the N value we have found as number equals to 5, so we can write 5 minus 5. So there, from here we can find that I will be equals to 3. So now he is asking about the, what is the osmotic pressure he is asking. So osmotic pressure of solution atmosphere. So we can write pi is equals to I into C into R into T. So here, what is the value of I? 3. And what is the value of C? In the question he has given concentration as decimolar, means 1 by 10, that is nothing but 0.1. R value 0.082 he has given, and temperature how much he has given? 300 Kelvin. So into 300, that will be equals to, after solving we can find 7.389 atm. So in the options you can see which one is having 7 points, so second option is our answer. Next, moving on to the next question. For a gas, he has given critical temperature and critical pressure. So critical temperature value he has given 305.1 Kelvin, and critical temperature he has given 48.1 atm. So first of all, what is critical temperature formula? Tc is equals to 8 into A by 27 Rb. This is the formula of critical temperature. So he has given critical temperature as 305.1. 305.1 is equals to 8 into A by 27 into R value we know as 0.0821 into B. So after solving there, you will get A by B is equals to value as 84.4. Next, moving on to the critical pressure. critical pressure he has given as 48.1 atm. So critical pressure PC is equals to, we can write A by 27 B square. So how much critical pressure he has given? 48.1 atm, means nothing but we can write 48.1 is equals to, we can write this one as 1 by 27 B into A by B. I can write this one. So A by value we know, that is nothing but we have find A by B value as 84.4. So we can write 48.1 into 27 is equals to 84.4 by B. So from this we can calculate the value of B. So B will be equals to 0.065 liter mole inverse. This is the value of B. Now calculating the value of A. What will be the value of A? So A by B we know that 84.4. So A will be equals to 0.065 into, what is that, 84.4. So that will be equals to, our A value will be equals to 5.486. Next, in the option he has also given the value of BC. So let's calculate the value of VC. So critical volume VC can be written as 3 into B. So 3 into 0.065. So that will be equals to 0.19 liter. Okay. So let us see the options. So the option, first option, B is equals to, he has given 0.65. But we found that B is equals to 0.065. So that is not our option. Next, the option B has given A is equals to 5.48 liter square atmosphere mole inverse square. And in that we have found that yes, A is equals to 5.48. So the B option is the right answer. And let's see the VC what we have got. So VC has given that 1.8, but we got that 0.19. So here our answer is the third option. Okay then. So moving on to the next question. So the magnetic moment of a transition metal ion he is given at 3.87 Bohr magneton, is asking how many number of unpaired electrons are present in it. So magnetic moment formula, what is that? Mu is equals to root over n into n plus 2, where n is the number of unpaired electron. So mu value is given as 3.87. So 3.87 is equals to n into n plus 2. Sorry, root over n into n plus 2. Now squaring on both sides you will get that this will be equals to almost 15 is equals to n into n plus 2. So after solving that you will get n is equals to 3 and n is equals to minus 5. So it is not possible. So our answer is n is equals to 3. Means nothing but there are 3 number of unpaired electrons are present. The option is B option. Okay. Then moving on to the next question. So which of the following solution cannot decolorize acidified KMnO4 solution? So let's see all that. Means here acidified KMnO4. What is the use of the acidified KMnO4? It is an, all know that it is an oxidizing agent. Means it will oxidize the other compounds. So what he is saying that which cannot decolorize, means in these four substances the KMnO4 solution cannot oxidize, cannot oxidize these 4 substances he is asking. So first of all, in hydrogen peroxide H2O2, what is the oxidation state of central atom? Here oxygen it is -1 form. So it can be changes to -1 to 0, means it can be oxidized. Next, for sulfur dioxide SO2, what is the oxidation sulfur here? Sulfur is in +4 oxidation state. So it can be oxidized to +6 oxidation state. Next, oxalic acid is nothing but H2C2O4. Here the oxidation state of carbon is +3 and it can be oxidized to +3 to +4. Next, for the ferric nitrate, here you can see iron is in +3 oxidation state. So here iron, the 2 oxidation states of iron are what is that, +2 and +3, means iron can't further be oxidized from +3 oxidation state. So that means the acidified KMnO4 solution cannot decolorize ferric nitrate solution. Okay. Next, moving on to the next question. What is saying? Potassium crystallizes in a body centered cubic lattice with a unit cell length of A is equals to 5.20 angstrom he is given. and asking what is the distance between nearest neighbors. So we know that for BCC lattice, what is the radius? So radius is given as r is equals to root 3 by 4 into a. So from this we can write 2r is equals to root 3 by 2 into a. 2r means nothing but the diameter, so which is nothing but the nearest distance or nearest neighbors. So what is the value of root 3 by 2a? Now nothing but root 3 by 2 into a is given as 5.20 into 5.20. So this will be equal, after solving you will get 4.5 angstrom. So the distance between nearest neighbors will be equals to 4.5 angstroms. Okay, so this is our answer. Next question when we are going. So here what he is saying that when benzene sulfonic acid and paranitrophenol are treated with NaHCO3, the gases released respectively are. Now, what is the formula of benzene sulfonic acid? Let's see. So benzene sulfonic acid is given as SO3H. So it is asking to react with sodium bicarbonate NaHCO3. Now you will get the product as SO3Na plus CO2 plus H2O. Okay. Next, what is given? Paranitrophenol. So paranitrophenol is, this is the OH group and NO2 at the nitro position, plus in the presence of sodium bicarbonate. So what you will get? The sodium phenoxide, nothing but, so Na, here nitro group, plus the CO2 and H2O, the same thing here. So here CO2 will be in the gaseous form, H2O will be in the aqueous form. Here also CO2 in the gaseous form and H2O will be in the aqueous form. So is asking, what is asking? The gases released respectively are. So with benzene sulfonic acid, the gas is carbon dioxide, and with paranitrophenol, the gas is carbon dioxide. In both the cases you can see the gases are carbon dioxide. So our option is the fourth option. Okay then. Next, moving on to the next question. What he is saying that a first order reaction is completed by 20% in 80 minutes. So how much further time is required for 64% of the initial concentration of the reactants to complete? So we will see this one later onwards. First of all, we will see this. A first order reaction is completed by 20% in 20 minutes. Means we can write K is equals to 2.303 by T into log of, for first order reaction you can write rate constant expression is like that. So K is equals to, putting the values we can find 2.303 by T he has given 22 minutes. So 2 log of A by, so 20% completed means remaining is, or we can write this one as 100. So this is 100 and the remaining percent is 80 means 100 by 80. Okay. So upon solving you will get K value as is equals to 2.303 by 2 into this value will be 0.1. Okay. Now coming to the second part of the question, what is that? How much further time is required for 64% of the initial concentration of the reactants to be completed? So what is the second part now? So there is also first order reaction. So we can write K is equals to 2.303 by T into log of 100 by 64. So we have to find time. T is equals to 2.303. So K value already we have got here. It is nothing but 2.303 into 0.1 by 2 means nothing but, here we can write 2.303 into 0.1. This will be into 0.2. Here we can write log of 10 by 8 square. So from this, upon solving this, you can find T is equals to 4 minutes. So he is, what is the question here? He is asking how much further time. So already 20% is completed 2 minutes. Next further time will be how much? So further time is how much? 4 minus nothing but equals to 2 minutes. So the answer is 2 minutes because integer type question. So answer is 2. Okay. So next, moving on to our next question. What he has given, delta naught value for COCl6 4 minus is 18,000 centimeter inverse he has given. He is asking delta T value for this one. So it is will be equals to saying that x into 10 to the power of 3 centimeter inverse. What is the value he is saying? So here we can say that we are having a formula delta T is equals to minus of 4 by 9 into delta naught. So minus of 4 by 9 into delta naught value he has given 18,000 means into 18,000. So that upon your solving will get 8,000 centimeter inverse. So here what is the value of x he is asking? So this one we can write 8 into 10 power of 3 means our x value will be equals to 8. Okay. So next question. What volume of 0.02 molar barium hydroxide should be mixed with 40 ml of 0.02 molar NaOH and 20 ml of 0.01 molar HNO3 to get solution that contain pH is equals to 12.3. So already we are having a solution of 40 ml of 0.02 molar NaOH and 20 ml of 0.01 molar HNO3. In that what I am adding is 0.02 molar barium hydroxide. So how much I am adding? We have to find the volume such that the solution will have a pH is equals to 12.3. So here I can write that since pH is equals to 12.3, so we can write POH is equals to 1.7. So POH is equals to 1.7 means the concentration of OH minus ion. When solving we can write 2 into 10 power of minus 2. Okay, so minus 2 molar. So now taking 100% dissociation of barium hydroxide, you can write M initial into V initial is equals to, or capital M we can write M final into V final. So what is the M initial and M initial and V initial? Taking that we can write, so it is how much? 0.02 molar means we don't know the volume, so we can write 2 into 10 power of minus 2 into, since 2 moles of OH minus ions will be there, so we can write 2 into V plus, what is that here having 0.02 molar NaOH or with 40 ml means we can write 2 into 10 power of minus 2 into 40. And next how much? HNO3 20 L means we can write minus 1 into 10 power of minus 2 into 20. That will be equals to our this one 2 into 10 power of minus 2 into, so total volume is 40 plus 20 60 plus V means 60 plus. So upon solving you will get that 4V plus 80 minus 20 is equals to 120 plus 2V. So upon solving you will get 2V is equals to 60, or we can write V is equals to 30. So volume is nothing but our 30 ml. So you will get answer as V is equals to 30 ml. Okay, then next moving on to our next question. The number of sp3 atoms in cyclotrimetaphosphoриc acid. What is cyclotrimetaphosphoриc acid? Then upon we can find the sp3. So first of all, let's see the structure of cyclotrimetaphosphoриc acid. So this is the structure of cyclotrimetaphosphoриc acid, and he is asking how many sp3 atoms are there. So here this is sp3 1, this is sp3 2, this is also sp3 3, this is also sp3 5, sp3 5, this is sp3 6. Upon this is also sp3 7, 8 and 9. So total 9 sp3 atoms are there. So our answer is 9. Next, moving on to our next question. What is he saying that 15 ml of 0.1 molar FeC2O4 solution is titrated with 0.1 molar KMnO4 in acidic medium. So volume of KMnO4 solution required to oxidize completely the FeC2O4 solution, how much? So we can write equation FeC2O4. Here the iron is in +2 oxidation state, so it will be oxidized to +3 oxidation state now. So with this we can also find Fe plus 3 plus carbon dioxide will be released, 2CO2, and 3 electron will be there. So here the N factor, after balancing you will get the N factor will be equals to 3. Next I am having KMnO4 solution. So MnO4 minus will be converted to Mn2 plus. Here the iron manganese is in plus 7 oxidation state. It will be reduced to plus 2 oxidation state. So upon balancing you will get 8H plus plus 5 electron, and here one H2O molecule will be there. So here since 5 electrons are involved, so N factor is equals to 5. Now we can write N factor N1 M1 V1 is equals to N2 M2 V2. So we have to find the volume, means nothing but we have to find the V2 value. So V2 value will be equals, upon putting all the equation he has given, 3 into 0.1 into what is the volume he has given, 15 ml, 15 by what is the molarity of 0.1, means with the N factor 5. So 5 into 0.1. So upon solving you will get V2 will be equals to 9, means nothing but our answer is 9 ml. So volume required is 9 ml. Okay. So moving on to the next question, what he is saying that hydrolysis of 15.45 grams of benzonitrile produces 10.98 grams of benzoic acid. So you are asking the percentage yield of acid form. What is benzonitrile formula? So benzonitrile is, this is the benzonitrile, and it is oxidized by to benzoic acid, COOH. Now what is the molecular weight of benzonitrile is 108 gram, and the molecular weight of benzoic acid is 122 gram. So here 108 grams is giving 122 grams of benzoic acid. So what is that? 15.45 grams. 15.45 grams will give how many weight, what is the weight of the benzoic acid here? So upon calculating 122 by 108 into 15.45 grams, so will be equals to 18.3 grams. So here what we will say that 15.45 grams of benzonitrile on oxidation gives how much? 18.3 grams of what is that? Benzoic acid. But in the question what is that he has given, we are having only 10.98 grams of benzoic acid. So what is the percentage yield now? So percentage yield will be equal, so we can find that the actual value by the calculated value into 100, that will be equals to your 60%. So our answer is 60. Next question, what he has given? He has given a reaction XeF6 plus H2O gives rise to A plus 2HF. So he is saying that A has X sigma bond, Y pi bonds, and Z lone pairs on xenon. What is the value of X plus Y plus Z? First of all we have to complete the reaction. So FCF6 xenon hexafluoride on hydrolysis gives XeOF4 plus 2HF. So what is the structure of XeOF4? We can write as double bond O, fluorine, fluorine, and here all the four corners fluorine will be there. Now let's find how many sigma bonds are there. So from the structure you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, total 5 sigma bonds. So X value is 5. Next, how many pi bonds? Since only one double bond is there, so number of pi bonds is 1. So pi Y will be equals to 5. And what is the value of Z? Since Z is forming here 6 bond, so one lone pair of electrons will be there. So Z value is equals to 1. So total 5 plus 4, 1 plus 1 we can write as is equals to 7. So our answer is 7. Okay. Next, moving on to the next question. What is that? Hydrated sodium sulfate, sulfide. Hydrated sodium sulfide has 50% H2O. So he is asking number of molecules of hydrogen, means how many H2O molecules are there. First of all, hydrated sodium sulfide formula is Na2SO3 dot XH2O. Some X number of H2O is there. Now let's find what is the ratio of this one. So Na2SO3 is to H2O. So since in the question he has given 50% H2O is there, means the ratio is 50 is to 50. So what is the number of moles we can write? So 50 by, so molecular weight of Na2SO3 is how much? Molecular weight of Na2SO3, after calculating you will get 21 into 2 to 42 plus 32 plus 48. There is nothing but equals to 102. And the molecular weight of water is 50 by 18. So that is, we can get a simple ratio as 1:7. That means 7 molecules of H2O. So that means we can write the value of X is equals to 7. So our answer is 7 now. Okay. Next, at 0 degree centigrade, if enthalpy of fusion of ice is 1365 kilocalories per mole, the molar entropy change for melting of ice at 0 degree centigrade is asking. So what is the formula of molar entropy here? We can write delta S is equals to delta H of fusion by temperature. What is the value of delta H? You already given 1365 kilocalories, means we can write delta S is equals to 1365 by, so temperature he has given as 0 degree centigrade, so 1365 by 273 Kelvin. So that will be equals to 5. So the molar entropy value is here how much? 5. Okay. So last one, so moving on to the last question. What is that? How many of the following compounds gives Cannizzaro reaction? So Cannizzaro reaction will be shown by which compounds? So Cannizzaro reaction can be shown by aldehydes and ketones which does not have alpha hydrogens. So the carbonyl compounds which are not having alpha hydrogens can only show Cannizzaro reaction. So here you can see this is the functional group and this is the alpha carbon, this is also the alpha carbon. So this alpha carbon contains one hydrogen, so this will not show the Cannizzaro reaction. Here this is our functional group and this is the alpha carbon, this containing one hydrogen, means this will not show what is that Cannizzaro reaction. So this is the alpha carbon here and this is the alpha carbon, this does not contain any hydrogens, so this will show our Cannizzaro reaction. And here this is the functional group and this is the alpha carbon, it is also not containing any hydrogen, so it will also show Cannizzaro reaction. And here you can see this is the functional group and this is the alpha carbon. Here also this carbon does not contain any alpha hydrogen, so this will also show Cannizzaro reaction. And here this is the aldehyde group or the functional group, this is the alpha carbon, it is also not containing any hydrogen, so this will also show Cannizzaro reaction. And here is the formaldehyde, we know that formaldehyde doesn't contain any alpha carbon, so that's why these also show Cannizzaro reaction. And here these 4 carbons are our functional groups and these 4 carbons are the alpha carbons. This 4 carbon also does not contain any alpha hydrogens, so this will also show Cannizzaro reaction. Total how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So total 6 molecules can show Cannizzaro reaction. So our answer is 6. Okay. Thank you very much. Hope you like this.